one thing I was thinking, I'm going to put it kind of in a different way than I said then,
sure.
is has anybody ever noticed that what we're all thinking and fearing comes about at some time shortly or maybe a little while after in the future? And this is the whole point for what the mass media is really all about. The mass media is not really all about brainwashing as much as it is about getting us to create with our collective consciousness. It's about tampering, contaminating the collective unconsciousness. So we will, and the collective unconsciousness is real. You can prove it is real, as I have on radio before, with real science, not any junk science from our global warming type of academics in the universities. But the point is of the mass media is to contaminate us at the soul level, the collective conscious level. So we will therefore create our world, and so that's why we, you can tell the future, pretty much what's going to happen now. Just look at all the themes that dominate mass media from every angle, and it's of course global collapse of some sort of global destruction. All these movies and the news, World War III type of things coming with Iran and Israel. I mean, so it's this is the big issue of our day, really.
Yes, it is. They're trying to get us to create it, folks. We're going to take a break and think about that. Yes, aliens, UFOs, collective consciousness, sexual ritual abuse. We've been all over the place tonight, haven't we, Jeff?
Well, that's just kind of how I think. There isn't one. I mean, we're taught in our universities. You go and you learn, your one subject. Go learn about genetically modified soy production and go get a job, doing that. And then, you're not supposed to study anything else. And when I was in graduate school, I was actually publishing articles. It's pretty rare for a philosophy graduate student to be publishing top-level articles in top-level academic journals. And they were on all different subjects all over the place. And rather than saying, wow, good job, they would actually castigate me and say, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to go.
Yes.
And I said, well, wait a minute, all the old philosophers, they studied everything. Philosophy was the study of reality, not the study of, one little teeny thing. And, I mean, if you know everything you can about the Federal Reserve, it doesn't do you any good if you don't know anything about 9/11. Is a good way to put it, because 9/11 is a bigger story than the Federal Reserve, because it shows the evil behind the thing, really, in a greater detail. So you have to have the broad classical education, I'd say.
Yeah. Hey, we really had a great guest last Friday, didn't we? I know a lot of listeners tonight missed the voice analysis of that guest. I hope they play replay on it. You can get my archive shows over at don'ttreadonme.tv. That's don'ttreadonme.tv, folks, or you can also get it on rinseradio.com. But do listen to that show. That is worthwhile. And just about 2 hours ago, Jeff, that guest sent me my entire voice analysis. And it really, it talked a little bit about the health issue, but it talked about my personality, and it's rather extensive. And I guess the only thing I need to say about it is my wife read it, and she handed it to me, and she says, she knows you better than I do. So we just laughed about it, but it was really interesting.
Well, like we were saying, that's how things really are. This is how the universe really works. We're taught to think, oh, no, we really aren't supposed to know much. I mean, I've had so many times where I'll go tell someone, about some incredible science. It won't even be out of the mainstream, just some incredible information from astronomy that I've learned, or then in the more, what's not considered mainstream, some numerology or reverse speech or something. And people just act like, no, we're not supposed to be that fortunate to know that much. And that's not for us. We're supposed to be, it's just so interesting how deep in our minds we have this theme. I mean, from person to person to person, culture-wide, we have this theme that we're not really supposed to be that special, not really supposed to be that knowledgeable. And I thought Sherry, she just blasted that all out of the water completely and totally showed what's really going on.
Yeah, she was wonderful, and I will have her back on. I am actually going to invest into that analyzing equipment that she uses, because when she mentioned that it revealed my voice, revealed that I had lower back issues with my hip, and that it was also giving me neck issues. Folks, that really made me sit up straight literally during the show, because that is precisely what I deal with, and I never share that with you listeners. But there it was. She was able to find it in my voice, and if she can locate, physical health issues before they really become a problem, then you are you're able to change your diet or take care of whatever the issue is. Just amazing. Just really amazing stuff. Hey, I've got an instant message here from Jim, and he is asking both of us, what is the craziest thing we've ever seen? Maybe I'll talk about it later, but I have seen an angelic being. I've heard what I believe is either that or the voice of the Creator. But I've had some ghost experiences. What's the craziest thing you have seen with your own eyes?
Oh boy, the craziest thing I've ever seen with my own eyes. I don't know if I'd want to say crazy, but I would say the most mind-boggling. What people will find the most shocking. Just because it's so different. It's not really shocking in itself, but it's different than what people... I've got a couple of things coming to my mind. Let me tell you about this one, actually. I was going to mention something about an angelic being I saw as well, John, but let me think of another one. Let me go with another one here, if you don't mind. I was teaching at Purdue University Calumet in Hammond, Indiana, in 2005 at the branch campus there. And I was teaching this kind of one of those junk classes. It's called Ethics for Professions, really no information. And I was really trying to spruce it up and make it exciting. So a good way to do that is always give the students 10-minute presentations and tell them to be as controversial as as cutting as possible, because they always go crazy and and then they can talk about then they can talk about 9/11 and stuff if they want, as an inside job, because I could not get fired even though I did. Anyways, but one time during the presentation, it was the first set of presentations in that class, and I've discussed this before, and I think some of the students in that class know, they've emailed me about this, but I was sitting there in the back of the room, and all of a sudden there was two Indian chaps, two students from India, giving a presentation, absolutely boring presentation on how to make cars or something, and all of a sudden they both had auras. It looked like a big, huge old afro, big golden afro of light. And I said, I was just sitting there in shock. I didn't know what was going on. I started looking around at everybody else if they were seeing it. And then pretty quick, after I was looking around, everybody else had them too. And I'm just answering the instant message that you got from the listener. So if somebody doesn't believe me, hey, again, I don't blame you. But, part of me wants to say, if you don't believe me, go back and watch your TV and believe that, which is a humorous thing. But I just couldn't. It was just so absolutely wonderful and amazing, and there was absolutely no hallucination about it. I mean, that's I know that it wasn't a hallucination. And
so it was. Everybody had the same color. It was a gold color.
Yeah, it was not a scenario where I've read about how there's different colors for different moods and so forth. Everybody had a very similar gold aura.
Yeah, I've seen auras too. I can't say that they're not real. My wife has seen one that was red around my head and my